Harden's debut?
Congratulations, Nets fans. Congratulations. You don't know how long these moments last. You don't know when they come and when they go. But what stood out to me is that this team, when healthy, is going to be a problem. Now, do they have every single thing that is needed in order to be considered, the favorite or a team that's guaranteed to go to the finals? No, they have work to do. But boy, when I tell you that the entire league looking around seeing James Harden all of a sudden wake up and get 14 assists in his debut, to see Kevin Durant go for 42. And this is what I like. Kevin Durant is a scorer. Kyrie Irving, even though he is a point guard, is also a scorer. But what you know with James Harden is that he has led the league in assists. So he knows how to get himself involved. He knows how to get some teammates involved. So when everyone's talking about, okay, well, who's going to handle the ball? Who's going to do this? I think James Harden really running that point and allowing Kyrie and KD to be just dominant scorers and him being the person that kind of navigates his game, I think that could be a real problem.
Well, I mean, no question about it. And, Richard, I think that was one of the things that stood out. 4 steals as well. Did have 9 turnovers. And I like that was one of the first things he brought up to Michael Grady in his post-game interview, saying, I got to clean up the turnovers. But, Richard, I think what was so striking, and we've already talked about it some, was, people have seen James Harden play a certain way in Houston over the last couple of years. And so there have been conversations about, dribbling the air out of the basketball, how they're going to continue to get everyone involved. But these players wanted this, which obviously shows their inclination to want to do whatever they have to win. And James Harden has shown that ability to play make, and it's not just that he has the skills to do it, Richard. There's the buy-in now to not play the way he was in Houston and to access more of those playmaking abilities, and we saw that already in Game 1.
Ryan, I 100% agree with you. What you have to do is you have to look around the league sometimes. And James Harden has led the league in assists. And then as his team and the dynamic of his team started to change, he then started to be like, okay, well, I'm going to go and average 34 points a game. Look at a guy like LeBron James. You add Anthony Davis on his team, and what does he do? He goes and leads the league in assists at 10 a game. I really think that James Harden, even though we're in the very beginning of the season, could lead the league in assists if he chooses to play that way. And so when you ask James, what is your goal? Sometimes it's to be the leading scorer. Sometimes it's to be the MVP. These guys that are on this tier, when you talk about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden and LeBron James, they can adjust their game. It's all a matter about what they want to do on the basketball floor. So if you tell James, James, we need you to average 25 and 10, or we need to average 26 and 11, he can go and do that, and pretty much with ease, especially with the arsenal around him. So I think this was a quick message to everyone on this team, everyone in this league, that look, they're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to be able to score. The next step that we're going to be talking about is how do they play that high-level team defense that's going to be needed when you're talking about the postseason.
Richard, during the game, I thought Sarah had a very poignant and simultaneously funny remark when she said, it feels like Kevin Durant is a veteran here now with all the attention on James Harden, the newcomer, and it sort of does, but you watch the performance tonight and you realize...
all the time.
Well, Durant, 42 points a season high, most in a game since Game 3 of the Western Conference semifinals back on May 4th, 2019. 16 of 20 as well. He had 6 of them tonight. But we saw that last highlight there, Richard, where he fed Bruce Brown, who's apparently has the clutch gene based on what we've seen from Bruce Brown in the fourth quarter over these last couple of weeks. But how about that, Richard? How about the way the rest of this team is able to play off of Durant and James Harden?
Yeah, and I'm going to include a guy like Landry Shamet, and I think there's going to be a lot of attention on Jeff Green, and rightfully so. You already saw some of those smaller lineups that they were playing with where Jeff Green is at, I would say, kind of the 4-5. Kevin Durant is 7 foot. He's at the 4-5. And when you're talking about size, you're talking about James Harden at 6'6". That could be your point guard, your 2-guard, your 3-man, whatever position that you need. So that's going to be key for them. If they're able to shore up their defense, and like I said, they don't have to be a top 5 defense. Not not with this type of offense. Yes, it would be great to be a top 5 defense, but if they can hover somewhere between the 10 and 15 range and limit their turnovers, again, be top 10 in the league in turnovers and not 18th, not 22nd. If they could be right there at like 10 or 11, be a 10 to 15 type defense with the offensive firepower that you have on this roster, they're going to be a force. But that's going to be the number one thing. Their chemistry when things get tight and their ability to play defense and not turn over the ball. If they can do those two things, not turn over the ball and play like solid defense, I tell you what, it is going to be problems.
Richard's going to hop out of retirement and put on a jersey just so he can get another ring. Is that what I'm sensing, Richard?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
All right. Time for our first break here on the... That Lake Chelan, Washington dirt to heal the ankle. You see the shot chart for Joe Harris, 6 of 11 from the floor, 17 points for Jolton Joe. Take a look at the game summary from tonight's action. The Nets putting up 38 points in the fourth quarter to break away. Nikola Vucevic, always an issue for Brooklyn, had a monster game. Harden, the 32, 12, and 14, 4 steals as well. How about Durant? A season-high 42 points, and Brooklyn has its first 3-game winning streak of the season. Time to hear from Nets head coach Steve Nash with the media, including our Michael Grady.
Coach, just can you give us an idea of what you liked just from James Harden's performance out there and what it was like incorporating him into everything that you guys did today?
Well, he stuffed the stat sheet. Wow, almost a quadruple double. But I mean, obviously James is a brilliant basketball player, and we got to incorporate him, find a way to make this thing gel, and put him in a position to do what he does, and for him to make each of our guys better. But he, got to the line 15 times. He made threes. 12 rebounds, 14 assists, 4 steals. We know what he is. He's a world-class basketball player. So we'll continue to build and get better and try to figure this out where everyone is, a threat and we make each other better.
Michael Grady with Yes Network.
And Coach, in what ways did James exceed your expectations in a debut?
Well, I just think, he's had obviously a very strange start to the season, stop-start year. He's not in his best condition yet. So for him to do as many things as he did on the basketball floor tonight was incredible. And, it's great to get one under his belt and for him to kind of, feel his teammates in the building, and we'll just keep building. But he was, incredible for a guy who, like I said, is just trying to get himself in shape.
And the guys, around him and guys making plays, Bruce Brown, the big three late, there's going to be a lot of talk about, Kyrie, Kevin, and James, but, how important are those other guys on the roster?
Well, it can't just be, your top guy, your top 2, your top 3 guys. You got to play team basketball. Everyone's got to be a threat. Everyone's got to play their role, know their role. And so those are things we have to figure out. But, I thought I was exceptional tonight, Joe played well. Bruce played well. Jeff gave us some important veteran